There we go. Welcome to Yoga for Balance and Bones team. Today's class, as we know, is called Balance, Function, and Strength. Here's what we know about all three. 90% of falls happen when we're standing or we're moving. Hands up if you think it's the latter. Yes, of course. Very rarely do we just stand there and go and fall over. Although, Anne, anything's possible, correct? No, I'm just teasing her. 90% of falls occur during movement, which is pretty self-evident. When we move, we can get distracted. There's uneven surfaces. We're not paying attention. Our head may be moving in different directions while we're doing our daily things. Function is required to perform activities of daily living. Okay, so we know balance occurs, falls occur mostly when we're in movement. Function, which is another topic that we're focusing on today, is required for activities of daily living. And then strength, of course, helps minimize our chance of falling and helps us achieve good functional range of motion. So hence where we're at today. We are going to start breathing collectively together on your back. So if you would transition using your best practices, if you prefer, we're only going to be there for maybe not even 5 minutes. If you prefer to lie on a sofa, you're absolutely welcome to do that. But please ensure that your head, neck, and low back are supported to keep that neutral spine position. So take your time. Hi, Karen. I love that bright yellow mat. It's really lovely to see the contrast of your body against it, so it's perfect. Yeah, so those blankets are used, as you know, just to assist you in getting up and down from the ground. So you can make your way there, Jojo. Lie on your back, please. Bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on the floor. You can start with your arms along the floor on your side, right, by your side. Think about turning your palms open to the sky so we get a nice opening across the front of the chest. And then relax your hands, your forearms, your upper arm bones and shoulders. Imagine here that the blanket, perhaps if you're using one at the base of your skull, is my hands cradling the base of your skull. And so with that, can you allow yourself to settle? I always imagine that my head is resting in the sand. And so just making a gentle imprint without forcing the movement. And then if it feels really comfortable here to let your knees knock in and rest in towards one another, please go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just keep them softly bent. Oh, we're almost there. Almost everybody's there. So remember, best practices to get onto your back is from sideline with knees bent and then transition to your spine as opposed to rolling down. And then from here, before we get started with our breathing movements, I want you to understand that our breath and our strength and our power are all intertwined. And so that will be the focus at the beginning part of our practice today, is how the breath can help initiate that stability and strength in your body to move. And just feel the weight of your body again. Every exhale, you're allowing yourself to soften and let go. Let go of the busyness of the day. Letting go of the expectations you have of your body and of this practice. And then finally, at the end of your next exhalation, I'd like you to bring your palms to rest on your belly. So maybe think about your two thumbs touching at your navel, and then your index and middle finger touching towards your pubic bone. And on your next exhalation, without changing the shape of your spine, as you exhale, I want you to notice what happens underneath your palms. So ideally, we're breathing at this part of our practice in and out through our nose, but if breathing that way is not comfortable for you in any way, then just breathe naturally, but you're still noticing the exhale and what happens underneath your palms. So at this point, I think you've probably figured out that as you exhale, your belly softens away from your palms. So as you inhale, your abdomen expands into your palms. Maybe your thumbs and index fingers separate somewhat if they're touching. And then as you exhale, everything softens back into center. Nothing else is moving. The pelvis stays neutral. Just focusing on the lower abdomen. And then at the next end of your exhalation, so end of your exhalation, you're going to slide both palms up to your rib cage. So just underneath your chest. So your fingertips may not be touching. It doesn't really matter here. I just want you to rest your palms, mimicking the rib cage, which is like hugging you, right? So now, can you take your awareness to what happens underneath your palms as you inhale? And then nice full exhalation. So once again, just like your abdomen, as you inhale, the rib cage should expand into your palms. This is an exercise. And as you exhale, they should soften back into you. This is what we are hoping for. It may feel like you have to exaggerate the movement to feel anything, in which case do it. Exaggerate the movement to feel something. So this exhalation that you're feeling, this contracting, is the stability of your core, or the core itself creating stability in your body. So take one more big breath in. And then exhale, exhale it all the way out. Contracting through the abdominals, contracting through the rib cage. And then just return to normal breathing for a moment. And we're going to transition. You'll open your eyes if your eyes were closed. Raise one arm closest to your monitor overhead. Bring your thighs to touch. Raise that arm overhead for me. Like you're touching the floor behind your head. Yep. And then turn to that side. So you're using that arm like a pillow, like an armrest for you. Turn to your side now, Linda. Yep. Knees come with you. Yep. And then use your top arm to push yourself away from the floor, coming to a seated position and transitioning to standing. So take your time. As you stand, you're going to go grab your yoga strap, resistance band, something from your house coat. And then what you're simply going to do, I wish I had a brighter band, but where your rib cage was in the front, your rib cage is in the back. Right? So find your rib cage and hold the strap in front, left and right hand. In fact, I'm going to go see if I can find a resistance band that is brightly colored so that you'll get a better view. She has so many. There we go. Nice pink one. So you can see the band is resting on my rib cage. Turn your palms upright to the sky. Soften your shoulders away from the ears. And again, we want to find our strongest base of support. Lengthen through the back of the neck, stay nice and tall in our posture. And now take this awareness where the band touches your back ribs. I want you to try and focus on breathing into that space. So try to expand into the back rib cage as you inhale. And then as you exhale, everything knits back to center. It's not so easy, especially when I start seeing things like this. I inhale. All right, do you see that? And exhale. So what we don't want to see is the shoulders crouching up towards your earlobes, right? That's probably, if it's happening, it's probably because we have difficulty, right, understanding the movement of the back ribs. Just take a couple of breaths. So this could be homework, right? If you're having difficulty feeling the breath in any of these three areas we focused on, creating that stability. Exhaling, knitting everything together, creating that stable base of support. Let's go one more time. Exhale, find that stability. So I want you to do this like mathematical equation in the sky. Exhaling equals stability. Okay? Now take this away. If you need a sip of water, find your chair. I'm going to move my props off of my chair and come to sit on the edge of my chair. So just make sure that you have your 4 chair legs on your yoga mat so that it doesn't slip off. And then for reference, I'm just kind of sitting on the edge of my chair with both sit bones reaching downwards. Good. Take both hands behind you, press down with your palms and lift your chest. Yep. Collarbones are nice and broad. Feet, let's make them a little wider than hip width apart for me. Good. And you're going to swivel your body to your right and drop your left knee down towards the floor. Right? And then come back in through center and do the same thing on the other side. So now the right knee internally rotates, that right thigh rotates and drops towards the floor. So what we are doing is just getting some movement at the hip crease, which is going to be helpful as we move along in today's practice. So this is the 90-90 exercises we've done many times on the floor, but today I'm offering you an opportunity to see what you could do if you were sitting long-term at your desk, reading or typing or whatever it is. Nobody types anymore, they keyboard. Side to side. Stay tall. So this is where our hands can help us. Our arms can help push down into the seat behind us. Let your shoulders go with your pelvis at the same time. Yeah, I want to see you do it a few more times. Yeah, your shoulders and hips. That's it, Linda. Good. Let's see, Sandy. Yep, perfect. A little bit more accessible if you need your legs wider. You can go ahead and do that. Good. Perfect job. Good. Now from here, we're just come right back through center and stand up. Good. I have my counter if you want to move behind your chair. I just don't want to have to move my chair all the time. And we're going to take a wide stance. You might turn around or move your chair so that you have that backrest for support. Feet are going to be nice and wide. Start with unlock knees, team, all 10 toes facing forward, elbows squeezing back. And then from here, you're going to hinge forward with a flat back any amount. So I would err on the side of caution. Putting your hands on the backrest of the chair might be more accessible. If you can place your hands on the seat of the chair, that means your spine still stays neutral, hips, shoulders on the same plane here, right? So either you're up here or you're down here. Think about your inner thighs moving back behind you. Inner thighs. So don't be hanging out in space, team. I want your hands on a wall, on a counter, on a chair, but not out in space like so, okay? So unlock your knees for me, Jojo, and widen your sit bones apart, like you're trying to, as one of my old teachers said, blossom your buttocks. I'll never forget that. Sue, come up higher for me. Yeah, stay up higher. Put your hands on the back of that chair there. Yes, good. So nice and wide, knees slightly unlock, sit bones reaching back behind you. Stay in the position, Linda, so try not to come up and down if you can. And feel the inner spiral. So this is not a squat. For reference, if you're unsure what's going on here, we're hinging, right? So we're folding at the crease of the hips, not at the waist. Inner thighs are reaching back behind us. Push the outer edges of your feet down without losing those 3 points of contact. Big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and center of heel. So legs are very active to support that spine. Good. Lengthen through the arms, lengthen through the fingertips. Good. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, bend your knees generously and come on up with that flat back. Good. One more thing before we continue on with regular scheduled programming. One hand can hold onto a wall, and you're just going to do some gentle leg swings. Draw your toes up towards your face and do your best here, team, not to move your pelvis, right? So your torso keeps lifting up out of the waist. Just little gentle swings. Good. Good. Try to make the leg almost like a pendulum, right? And sometimes it requires a little bit more of the toes drawing up so that you don't touch the floor with your leg. Oftentimes I'll do this standing on a blanket or a block. Good. Let's switch sides for me, please. So you could just turn around. You don't have to move your furniture. Just turn around. So if you haven't done the other side, nice leg swings. Feel that slight contraction through the abdominals to find that stability so that we don't use our back in this exercise. That's it, Maureen. Good. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Grab a quick sip of water for me, will ya? I think everybody maybe has read some of my tips on staying hydrated during the summer months. Hopefully. Good. Right in the center of your mat. Stay nice and tall. Find your mountain pose. Good. Doing a posture check right here, right? So if you had a book on the crown of your head, would it fall behind you or forward? Hopefully neither. Good. Bring your fingertips to touch. Yup, Dina is doing her posture check. That's lovely. Feel free to do that. Bring your fingertips together, bend your knees, and step or hop your feet nice and wide apart. Good. Draw your heels in and toes out. Good. Now bring your elbows together, your palms together, squeeze your shoulders back, and we're gonna see how far down we can go. So we're in like a malasana squat. We're gonna try to keep that posture check. And what I want you to focus on is your breathing now. So stop for a second. I want you to think about it. As you go down to the ground, you're gonna inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to keep everything slightly contracted to push the ground away. So it goes something like this. Inhale. Yes. So as we exhale, we know we contract, right? To create stability. Good. Inhale. Good. Again. Inhale. How low can you go? Your feet are nice and wide apart, which might help facilitate a deeper squat because those inner thigh muscles are rotating in and down. Good. Inhale, exhale. Good. As deep as you can go in that pain-free range of motion. Good. 2 more. Last one. Perfect. Good. Bring your feet back to parallel. Good. Now lift your left toes up. Pivot on your left heel. And find as if you were going to go into a warrior 2. Both legs are straight. And if you were to look down, you could see you've got that front heel in line with the center of your right foot or the heel of your right foot. Either is fine. Bend through your left knee. Good. Good. And from here, arms are just by your side. So what happens when we straighten that leg? We push. So from here, take a big breath in. Exhale. Yes. Inhale, lower. Good. A few more times. Exhale, push through that front leg. Stay active in your back leg. Exhale. Inhale. So find that gentle contraction. So we're in that kind of like a quasi warrior 2, almost like reverse. One more time. Good. And release. Good. Straighten that front leg. Pivot on your left heel. And come back to parallel. Good. Step or hop your feet together. Good. Perfect. Again, fingertips touch. Chest nice and proud. Chin slightly tucked in. Bend your knees. Step or hop your feet wide. Good. Again, feet start parallel. Good. Same here. I want you to bring your heels in and your toes slightly out. Good. Take your hands to your hips. Gently squeeze the shoulders back. We're going to bend and come up. Good. Go as low as you can. Gorgeous posture, everybody. Inhale. Exhale. Just 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. As deep as you can go. Perfect. Parallel the feet. Lift the forefoot on your right foot. Pivot on your right heel. Let your pelvis go, remember? And then we're going to bend that right knee. Perfect. So even though I bent my right knee, doesn't mean I lean into that right side, right? We stay shoulders over hips, bend that right knee. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, release the arms, bend the front knee. Exhale. That's it, Diane. Good. Inhale, let the arms float. Exhale. 2 more times. Exaggerate your breath for me today. Every time you exhale, you think abdominal contraction. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Release the arms. Lift your forefoot. Parallel your feet. Good. Step your feet together in mountain pose. Perfect. We're going to come around to one side of your chair so that you have this backrest nearby. Good. Step your right foot forward, your left toes back. Good. So your left toes, sometimes we do it with our left toes in line with our right heel. Today I'm going to say bring them back just ever so slightly. Hands on your hips, so it looks something like this. Elbow squeezes back. Good. Same thing here. We're going to hinge, push our hips back. So we did the Prasarita Padottanasana with wide legs. So that was a wide leg hinge. Now we're in a balancing Virabhadrasana 3 and come on up, or a variation of it, yeah? We're keeping a kickstand. Inhale, exhale. Let's see what this looks like. Push into that front leg. Find the contraction through your abdominals. Yeah, so it should be audible. If somebody was walking by your room, they hear you. Exhale. Yes, inhale. Exhale. Good. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Good. Last time. One more for good measure. I always say one more. Exhale. Good. Simply switch legs. This time take your left foot forward. Take your right kickstand slightly behind your left heel, but still parallel the feet. Yes, we're not on a balance beam. Same thing here. If you need some support, I neglected to mention, you can always have a couple of fingers on a chair or wall. Hands on your hips, squeeze those elbows back. Inhale, it's like a bird on a wire, right? Exhale, something like that. Let's see it a few more times. Inhale. Exhale, tuck your chin in for me, Claire, so your neck stays in line with your spine. Yes. Shoulders are back and you're only hinging so that you can keep, so less of a knee bend here, Jojo, and more of a butt back situation. That's it, Linda. 2 more times, team. Nice, Anne. Gorgeous, Deb. Last time, Sue. Got to move your bum to hinge. Otherwise, it's not a hip hinge. It's a flexion of the spine, right? So the buttocks moves back. Those sit bones go behind you. Okay, come back through center. Pause for a moment. So we're starting to feel the power of the breath helps initiate the movement, I hope. Yes, or at least that's the way we want to go through adding strength elements to our practice. From here, please go grab a weight. I'm using a medium to heavy weight. Just one is required. There will be no jumping with this, just so you know. Very important here, team, that we focus on shoulders back. So we do not let this weight round the head of the shoulders forward, right? So gently squeeze them back. Find that contraction through your upper back muscles. Step your feet just outside of the hips. Turn your toes out. Keep your heels in. Good. So now we're adding some information to our body weighted squats in the form of resistance. Here we go. We go down. And this is where it becomes crucial, right? In your everyday life, do you need to exhale to stand up from your kitchen table? I would say probably not. But it's when life happens and you have to move things from your trunk, from your garden shed, from your storage locker. Exhale. That you feel that exhale helps to support you. Good. My mother used to wear a girdle. So I always like to think of this exhalation creating our natural girdle, right? Good. 3 more for me, Sandy. Down. Push, contract. Last 2, Sue. Excellent. And last one. Good. Lower the weight. Take it in your right hand. Bring your left toes in. Bring your right toes out. So all this is going to do is load that bending leg. So you're going to let this weight rest on your thigh. Good. So you only have one free arm. Perfect. Start with that knee bent. Knee is roughly over the ankle. It could be slightly forward. Back arm is relaxed. Good. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale. Keep that weight on your thigh. Back arm floats up to parallel. Inhale, lower the arm, bend the knee. Exhale. Oh my. Good. Inhale. We're just doing 5, I promise. You feel it when you bend that knee a little bit more. Last 2. Excellent. Last one. Good. Switch that weight mindfully into your left hand. Parallel your feet. And then pivot on your left heel rather. Toes are facing away. Let the hip go. Weight is resting on my thigh, so my arm is slightly bent at the elbow. Good. Bend through that knee. Good. Chest is up. Head is up. Good. Here we go. That's it. Deb, you can keep your hand on your hip. It's a good look. Exhale. Float that arm up. Straighten that front leg. Inhale. Bend the front knee. Exhale. We're just going for 5. I know we're getting tired. Inhale. Exhale. Loading that one leg. Inhale. Last 2. Good. And last one. Perfect. Now parallel the feet. Hold the weight in between both hands at your chest and mindfully step your feet together. Good. I don't know about you, but it's hot in here. I'm going to grab a sip of water. Please do the same if you're in a spot that feels very warm. Remember what we learned through that handout. Even when those thirst sensors aren't present, We want to make sure we still take a little bit of water here and there throughout our practice and throughout the day, in fact. Final exercise before we move on without the weight. We're going to take that weight into our left hand and step our right foot forward. So going back into that lunge position that we did earlier, left toes on the ground, feet are hip width apart. Here we go. We're going to hinge forward with a flat back. Push your butt back behind you, Sue. Widen those sit bones. If there was a car door behind you, you want to be able to close it. And then push to come up into to an upright position. So we hinge, that weight lowers towards that front shin, and then we come back up. Let's see it a few more times. Hinge with that flat back, that arm just hangs there, like almost like you're doing a deadlift with that arm. That's it, Dina. Good. Side profile is my favorite profile. Give me 2 more, Claire. Untuck that pelvis and bend that front knee, Sandy. Front knee is bent. Yes. And switch legs and switch hands. So take that weight from your left hand into your right hand. Yeah. Left hand into your right hand. Left foot is forward, right foot is back. Good. Same thing I'm going to show from this side, perhaps. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Push your hips back. Look at my front knee. If it's bent, touching the chair, it's going to stay bent. All right? We don't want to do this with a locked out front leg. Good. 5 times. Practicing variations of Virabhadrasana 3 with a kickstand. Shoulders back. Slight squeeze. That's it, Linda. 5 in total is all that I want to see from you. Really untuck that pelvis, Claire. Good, and then place that weight down. Not that we won't use it, but you won't need it right now. I think for yourselves, because I have my mats in a crisscross position, coming to the front of your mat with the length of your mat behind you might be helpful for you. If you need a chair nearby for support, by all means, and find your mountain pose, please. Shake it out. Yes, that feels really good. So I want you to think about if you had like a weighted vest on, that weighted vest would try to bring your body weight down. So you are creating your own resistance, lifting up on all sides of the waistline. Excellent. From here, you're going to shift all your body weight into your left leg. Pick your right leg up and then make a big birth. Like I'm going to show you this from the side. Pause for a second. That knee is going to come up and then out to the side and behind you into a lunge. So why we worked all those rotational movements at the hip was for this particular movement. So from here, up, out, and step back. So the hip is going to want to twist your pelvis, right? The rotation of that leg bone in the socket. Your job is to stay neutral, even if you minimize that range of motion. Try it a few more times. Come back up, back to center, and release the arms. Good. A couple more times. Come back up. Good. Out to the side and back. I'm going to place my arms in Anjali Mudra because they seem to be getting in the way. Come back up. Knee goes wide and center. Nice job. One more time for me. Here we go. Up, out. Oh, take your time. Now hold the position. Inhale. Exhale. See if you could sink a little bit deeper. Take a moment. Both knees are bent. And as you exhale, step your feet together. Hands come to heart. Woo, woo, woo. Good. Again, keep your palms together. Press the base of your thumb into the base of your sternum. Step all the weight into your right leg. Lift your left knee up. Good. Take your left knee out to the side. Back behind you. Find your high lunge. Yes. So really focusing on eyes on the horizon is going to assist you. Okay. Lift up. Come back. And tap back. Good. Nice job, Deb. Up, forward, and good. This is not easy. All right. Good. One more time. Up, out. Nice, Maureen. Back and toes down. Both knees stay bent. Chest is proud. If you're feeling confident here, inhale. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Eyes steady on the horizon. Very nice. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, hands come to heart. We step back together. Whoo. So that was the more accessible version. What I would like for you to do is to get your weight again. So if yoga for balance and bones is going to help you off of the mat, then we need to mimic life off of the mat. So take that heavier, medium to heavy weight in your left hand. Remember, chest is proud, slight contraction, yep, of your shoulder blades on your back. This is challenging, right? Your core, your stability is working all the time. Otherwise, you'd look something like this, right? This is someone whose core, she's not working right now. Come back up. So we're holding a grocery bag in one hand. Does this feel like a grocery bag that you would come home with? If it doesn't, switch it out. If it does, great. Maybe you could even make it a little bit heavier, because those grocery bags will only feel lighter if we challenge ourselves here in this controlled environment. Come up onto your tippy toes, lift that right knee up. Same thing, take it behind you and find yourself in that lunge position. Good, hand on your hip. We're gonna bend the knees and we're gonna straighten them. Good, and bend and straighten. Oh boy, press into the big toe mound of that front foot. It's gonna save you. One more time, bend and straighten. Good, let's shift all that weight into your left leg. Come right back up and back into our mountain pose, switching the hand. I always say I'm going for, some bread and almond milk. Several bags later, she's traipsing home with many things that weigh much more than this. Hand can go on your hip or out to the side, whatever feels best to you. Lift up out of the waist and find that natural contraction with the resistance. You got it, Maureen. Go, go, go. If you got it, you got it. Back. Good. And forward. Whoop. Good. And up. And hold this one. Whoop, whoop. Here we go. We're going to go down. Exhale. Down, bend the knees and straighten. Nice, Claire. One more time, and down and straighten. Shift the weight into your right leg. Oh, so wobbly. And come right back through center. Now we can dispose of the weight. And please grab yourself, again, a quick sip of hydration. So once again, we practice these poses. Best practices are sometimes easier than real life. I want you to step your feet nice and wide apart because we are going into a warrior two. Nice wide stance, at least 3 feet apart. Lift the forefoot of your left foot and pivot on your left heel. So once again, look down at your feet. If I was to draw a line from my from my left heel, where would it intersect with my right foot? So left heel, right foot. Roughly in the center of that back leg, that heel would intersect, or towards the heel is pretty standard protocol. So let's find our warrior two, if you will, bending through that left knee, looking over our left fingertips, and notice how you feel. Do you feel strong? Do you feel steady as you breathe fully into your center? Pushing down through the legs, staying really strong here. Good, and then straighten that front leg. Let's try it on the other side. So pivot on your heel, lift the forefoot of your right foot, and again, pelvis goes with you. Float those arms up, bend through that right knee, find that gorgeous, yes, warrior two. I would dare to say that, you know, this variation of warrior two is pretty accessible to all of us, right? And now straighten that front leg. Good, pivot, step your feet together. Another option I would like to try, maybe even more accessible, maybe less accessible, I don't know, and I'm gonna show it from this angle. We're gonna take that wide stance apart. I want you to pay attention to my feet. Normally, I would just lift the forefoot of that front leg and pivot on that heel. And maybe you can see, if you come close to your monitor, maybe you can see that same intersection I mentioned, front heel and back midfoot intersect. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my back foot to the back corner and my front foot to the front corner. So now the stance is really wide. Yes? So basically, your right foot is going to go to the front right corner-ish. Your legs clearly are not that long, so your back foot is not gonna be in the back left corner. But you're almost like dividing yourself into a diagonal. Feel different, take your hands on your hips. Your pelvis will probably twist a little bit more towards that front leg, which is fine, and then bend through that front knee. Good. You can float your arms up. They're going to be weirdly displaced, not on a beautiful traditional warrior position, but I don't care because I want your spine to be lifted. And take a couple of breaths. How does it feel? Do you feel more stable? Do you feel less stable? Take a few breaths. This is for you to explore. Not a wrong way to approach this posture, just a different way. You can feel the muscles in your inner thigh working really hard to stabilize you. Midsection still working, maybe the same, maybe more. Good, straighten your arms, straighten your legs, heel toe your feet back, and let's do the same thing on the other side. So my front foot is gonna go to the front right, left corner, and my back foot is gonna go to the back opposite corner. Nice wide stance. Bend through your front knee. Deeper stretch maybe, arms float up. Yeah, that's it, Sue. Feels so weird? Take a few breaths. Creates a little bit more space in the pelvis, but a deeper stretch, right? Deeper sense of lengthening through the inner groin, inner thigh muscles. Might feel even better for you. Create more space in your pelvis. I think some of you are finding the balance a big challenge in this width apart, yeah? Good, 3, 2, 1. Straighten your legs, heel toe them in together. I think what I wanted to share about the different positions of the legs in that particular pose is, first off, there's no one right way. If I was working privately with someone who had difficulty with the posture in its traditional form, I might offer them this option. But the bottom line is our core will need to fire dependent on what's going on down here. Right? A lot of the times, what we're walking on, how wide our stance is, how narrow our stance is, that deep exhalation is going to help control how you manage that posture. Let's go into a little bit of a flow here. Feet hip width apart, arms by your side. Inhale, sweep those arms wide enough. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Exhale as you come on up and reach those arms overhead, and then slowly lower the hands back to center. Step your right foot forward, your left foot back. Find a high lunge position as you inhale, sweep those arms up. Good, so right foot forward, left foot back. Good, take a moment here, back knee stays soft. Good, exhale, push into the ground, contract those abdominals, straighten that front leg. 2 more times, Deb, join me here. Inhale. And exhale, challenging your balance again, challenging your stability. Inhale, eyes on the horizon. Exhale, good. Switch legs, left foot comes forward, right foot comes back, feet hip width apart. Bend through that front knee and then float those arms overhead any capacity. Good. Yeah. Good. Again, big breath in. Exhale, straighten through that front leg. Lower those arms by your side. Good. Inhale. That's it, Susan. Exhale, straighten. Last time, inhale. And exhale, beautiful. Come to the back of your mat if you will. We're going down to the ground. We will not be coming back up. So if you need to bring your water with you, your blankets, you will not need a strap. Good. From the back of your mat. Good. Inhale, circle sweep those arms wide. Exhale, arms down by your side. Step forward with your right foot. Take both hands to the top of your right thigh. Use that for support. And then slowly lower that back knee to the floor. Good, excellent. Come back into your kneeling position. Take both hands to the floor. Widen your knees almost as wide as your mat, please. Good, and then keeping your toes curled under, I want you to push with your hands. Push your fingertips down and away from your armpits and lower your upper body. Your goal at some point is maybe your ears come in line with your upper arm bones. Otherwise, up here is good too. Take a few breaths. For those who practice downward facing dog, this is an opportunity here to come into a downward facing dog position. Whatever works best for you here. Bend your knees, Karen, for me. Yep. That, Karen, yep. Good. And then if you are in a downward facing dog, I encourage you to lower your knees. Come to a side position, so sit on your hip. Yep. And transition onto your back, please. So from your back, knees bent, feet hip width apart. Sliding from your side. And then onto your back from here. So feet stay hip width apart. I want you to think about that exhalation. Once again, creating that stability. I want you to think of the push and the exhalation are good friends here. So that we don't use our arms, can you lift your fingertips up to the sky, just above your shoulders here? Arms are nice and straight. Head is resting comfortably on the ground. As you take a big breath in, fill up your front, side, and back rib cage. And as you exhale, push into the ground to lift your hips up. So the only cue is push. And then inhale, come back down. Watch that your knees don't splay there, Dina. Exhale to push. Inhale to lower. Nice, Claire, good. Again, exhale up. Push those feet down equally and evenly. Good, and down. Give me 5 more. So try not to articulate down. You came up with one push. I want you to lower your hips the same way you came up. So instead of articulating, you've heard in the Pilates world, one vertebrae at a time. We are not doing that here. Push up. That's it, Maureen. And lower. 3 more. Exhale to push. Nice. Inhale to lower. Knees, 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 Dina. It looks like your knees are splaying. Yeah, it's hard to see maybe. Yeah. One more time. Beautiful. And hug those knees into your chest, please, if that feels good to you. Once your hips are on the ground, of course. I saw someone pause going, what? How? Take a couple of breaths here. Nice job, team. So again, does the exhale help you in everyday life? maybe not unloaded, but for us, we want our life to be loaded. Yes, we want to stay active, and that means we're going to carry things, whether they're grandchildren or household items, things that are heavy. And that exhale, that embracing of the abdominal helps to create stability in your spine to minimize your risk of fracture. Good. Let's come into a figure 4 position. Take one ankle over the left knee, or right ankle over the left knee, I guess. And either walk your left heel back to your sits bones, use your strap if you need to, or use your hands to bring your thigh in, maybe at a 90 degree, if you can. If not, keep that foot on the floor for me, please, team. Again, we're thinking about getting the base of the skull resting on the ground. So if you have your blanket nearby, hopefully you're using that for support. Lower your left foot to the ground, straighten your right foot to the sky, and take your hands to the back of your right thigh. Let's get some nice ankle circles here. We did a lot of standing work today. Feeling those muscles. Can you see how those muscles in your lower limbs are firing with your ankle circles? Those are our extrinsic muscles, foot muscles connected to lower limbs. And then lower that right leg to the ground. Just give it a little shake for me. And do the same thing now on the other side. So both feet are bent. Left ankle goes on front of right knee. Keep that left ankle flexed for me, team. And either bringing your right heel in towards your right sit bone, or you're coming into that figure 4 position. So you've done your strength training today. You've done your balance training today. Now you just need to get out for a nice little walk around your block or 2 or 5 or 10 times. Lower your right foot to the sky, grab a hold of your left thigh, and get some left ankle circles in here. You know it's summer. I have sandal tan already. Good. One more time, hug those knees into your chest, using your hands to circle your thighs in opposite directions, feeling that rotation of that leg in the pelvic socket here, and then changing directions. 2 and 1. I forgot to shake out that left leg, so give it a little bit of a shake before we come into our final resting posture. And that can be legs on seat of chair, right? Calves resting on the chair if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, you can grab your blankets and place them behind your thigh, or simply keep your knees bent. So for those who aren't familiar, placing this behind your thigh or behind your knees is a really nice way to support that neutral spine. So find a position that you feel comfortable in for the next couple of moments. Whatever that looks like, just knowing that when you straighten your legs, there's a good chance you're kind of lengthening and stretching out the muscles of the back of the spine. So if that doesn't feel comfortable, just assume a best practices position. If you're comfortable closing your eyes here, please go ahead and do so. And I just want you to simply feel that breath moving through your body, perhaps a little bit easier now. And if we know a little bit of history of yoga, the physical postures, however old they are, and it really depends on who you talk to. I hear stories of hundreds to thousands of years old. But the physical practice of asana, of yoga postures, is relatively new. It was created to help us sit and meditate and sit in stillness longer. letting that energy go, deepening through the exhale to find a sense of softness and ease in your physical form. And with this physical practice also comes the softening of the mind. So those thought processes, although they may still be present, might be slower, might not quite be hitting quite the same way. So my hope for you as you carry on with the rest of your day is that you can maybe observe a little bit deeper, breathe a little bit slower, and speak a little bit more mindfully to those around you because of this sense of calm and ease you may have created in your body through your practice. Before you start to move your body, just take a moment of gratitude for everything that your body has done for you thus far today. And then slowly start to wiggle fingers and toes, turning head from side to side. When you feel ready, bend your knees if they're not already bent, placing the soles of the feet on the earth, and gently turn to your side before making your way up to a seated position. Thank you so much, team, for joining me this year in our spring yoga for balance and bones. Again, these classes are yours to enjoy till June 30th. And for the summer program, for the fall program rather, your summer videos are coming your way the same day. So I'll switch them out is all I'm gonna do. Have a wonderful day. Please, I'm always here, even though I'm on holiday, team. I am always here for you, so don't hesitate to reach out for any questions, comments, or just to say hello. Thank you so much.